Is the WNBA harsh? Or is Caitlin Clark receiving harsh treatment? For the most recent updates, like and follow our Facebook page and YouTube channel. On Friday night in a Washington arena, WNBA rookie Caitlin Clark, the women's basketball sensation who has the globe by storm, created an ocean of orange. When Clark played in the U.S. Capitol on Friday, locals from the surrounding communities in Maryland and Virginia, and the city itself, seemed much more excited to put on the orange Indiana Fever jersey of the star player than to wear the red and blue of the hometown Washington Mystics. Clark's name was called by the broadcasters before to the game, which the Fever ultimately won in a thrilling finish, and the audience cheered for the star player. "We're Caitlin Clark fans tonight, but I'm a Wizards fan technically," said 26-year-old Brianna Flores of Maryland, referring to the area's NBA basketball team, and a Washington fan in general. The Washington arena erupted in cheers of appreciation for Clark on Friday, following a week of conjecture and discussion regarding how she has been treated in games since joining the league in March. In the months that the highly anticipated potential has been dribbling on WNBA court, she has encountered challenging defensive coverage and fierce challenges from other players. While several of Clark's supporters have brought up specific instances of particularly brutal movements she has encountered, the majority have focused on a foul that was aired on sports broadcasts over the course of the previous week and ignited a national dialogue regarding the player's harsh treatment in the U.S. Last Saturday, during a Chicago Sky game, rookie guard Clark was given a hard shoulder check by guard Chennedy Carter, which sent him sprawling to the floor. Over the previous week, many new fans and analysts, many of whom are taking a closer look at the WNBA, now that it is experiencing a fast spike in popularity, called foul. While long-standing viewers of women's basketball claimed that these were overreactions, "I find it surprising that the new followers are so surprised," said Candace Buckner, a Washington Post sports columnist who frequently covers women's basketball. "It's a physical activity," she continued. "You almost feel like a brand new opera enthusiast who is shocked to find music." Following a week of contentious coverage, reactions from the Washington game's attendants on Friday were diverse. Some said that Clark is being treated unfairly harshly in her new league, while others asserted that her skill is the reason she is being watched so intently. Susan Abed, a 63-year-old businesswoman who traveled to Washington from her home in Virginia to see Clark play, said, "I think she is treated a little bit harshly. I mean, I think a lot of players probably are jealous because of the money she's making." The 38-year-old librarian Ashley C. declared, "You're going to get hit. That's just how the sport is. It's not a full contact sport, so nobody's expecting you're going to get, laid out," she said. "However, I believe that some degree of interaction is normal." After receiving harsh condemnation from the public and extensive media coverage, the NBA escalated Carter's shove that knocked Clark out to a flagrant foul. Carter's infraction was deemed unacceptable by Fever coach Christy Sides, who also announced that the club had submitted a number of plays, during which they claim Clark was handled improperly, for examination to the league. Sides remarked last week, "It's hard to keep getting hammered the way she does, and to not get rewarded with free throws or foul calls." Attendees of the Fever's Mystics game on Friday expressed their appreciation and respect for the lady who has given the WNBA, a sports organization that has long battled to build a strong fan base, recognition. At the end of the day, they're all WNBA players, they're all in the same league, and whatever's good for one person in the league is probably good for a lot of people in the league, said Ms. C. "There are chances for more players to get the spotlight, and she's just sort of the trailblazer." When Clark performed at the University of Iowa, she brought enormous audiences to Iowa City, a remote hamlet of 75,000 people in the heart of agricultural country. She made a name for herself in college as a player to watch and a once-in-a-generation phenomenon. She gained a plethora of new followers for the WNBA, a professional league that has struggled to sustain a strong fan base. After being selected by the Indiana Fever as the first overall pick in the April draft because to her dazzling star power, the average attendance for WNBA teams was 6,615 for their games last year. After just 5 games, Clark's new team had already eclipsed its total home attendance for the 2023 season. The league's explosive expansion has been fueled by Clark's supporters, as the Fever have averaged 15,886 spectators for each of their first 11 home and away games. The 4,200-seat Entertainment Amp Sports Arena in the southern part of the city was to be the new location for Friday's Washington game due to overwhelming demand. Instead, Capital One Arena will host the match. The Washington Wizards' 20,300-seat home arena is located in the center of the U.S. Capitol, and this particular game was completely sold out. Northwestern University professor and sportswriter Melissa Isaacson stated to the BBC that outsiders and the public in general do need to appreciate what Clark's brought in terms of, at a minimum, eyes to the game. Perhaps the reason she is receiving such a harsh response is because of this admiration. Insiders cautioned her that since more people are aware of her talent, she should become ready for a new caliber of play as a professional. During Clark's final college tournament, WNBA legend Diana Taurasi declared, "Reality is coming. You play against some 18-year-olds and look superhuman, but you're going to play with grown women who have been playing professional basketball for a long time," the coach said. It is evident that Clark is facing intense defense while she is on the court, indicating that other players in the league consider her as an offensive danger. Pundits have noted that Michael Jordan was frequently pushed around, particularly during his rookie season. In order to counter Jordan's extraordinary skill, the Detroit Pistons even devised the now famous Jordan rules, which called for a strict physical defense strategy. Few would be surprised if Clark suffered a minor physical setback as a result of that aggressive defensive play or his relentless playing style. She has the most minutes of any rookie in the WNBA, and she joined the team nearly immediately after a demanding collegiate basketball season that culminated in the NCAA championship game. That could be the reason why the college basketball player with the all-time scoring record hasn't been winning or scoring all that much thus far. After the victory on Friday, the Fever have a 3-9 record and are now ranked 10th out of 12 teams in their league. The day following Carter's shoulder check last week, Clark played the worst game of her short career. In the game against the New York Liberty, she finished with just 3 points. Ultimately, she was substituted out, and the Fever lost 104-68. According to Ms. Buckner, "Caitlin is a star. My only wish is that her fans understand that Caitlin Clark didn't have a place to play 3 months ago when the WNBA was founded. Her performance in the game on Friday in Washington proved to be a much-needed recovery, as she led her team in minutes played and scored 30 points. Even while Clark isn't playing as well as some have been accustomed to, she is still holding her own in a more challenging league. She's been amazing," Ms. Isaacson remarked. "She has entered the game unlike any other rookie." Clark has also been rather silent on the conversation surrounding her WNBA debut and how other players have reacted to her. Regarding the widely publicized shoulder check, she remarked, "It is what it is. The game is physical.